All right. What's up, everybody? We are here with a banging series. We've got, of course, the Italian stallion, the absolute monster, a world champion player who's been in the grand finals for 3 years in a row, winning one of those 3 grand finals, 2 second places. And he's going for a 12 pool opening. This is Kaisi Gaming's Reynor. And he's facing off up against Neeb, representing Onside. Now, you might think, those of you who haven't been following the scene too closely, that Neeb is no match for Reynor. But Neeb is on an absolute bloody tear right now. He is in the finest form he's been in years. And as a player who grinds like a mother trucker, Neeb is back passionate about the game. And that's really what matters for Neeb being really good. Because a guy like Reynor, I think, is so talented. Yes, he's put in the work, but I think he can go periods without really practicing and then still just flow into the game and kick butt, even when he's out partying and doing other things, right? But for Neeb, a bit closer to my heart, a player who just has to put in the hours. And when he does, though, he figures things out. He figures out all these beautiful little adjustments and details and really kind of finds a way to get the edges. Now, he's going to scout the 12 pool here very early, and we're going to see that nice response for him. Let's see just how hard does he respond. Does he go for the 2 gate? On this map, arguably, you can wall off with just the Cyber Core and skip the 2nd gate because you've got this narrow choke point. So 12 pool should be weak here. However, Reynor, he's already on 8 Zerglings. He's going to 10. He does swap to droning. It's just a standard 10 Zerglings. I feel like this is a really good response for Neeb, but if he loses the gateway, then he's in huge trouble. It is absolutely an issue if he loses that. So we'll see exactly how that one goes. Uh-oh. Okay, Zergling's coming on in. The Zealot's going to try and deny a few, but he cannot let himself get surrounded. 4 Zerglings getting good surface area on that right side. And the problem with this 2-building wall-off is that gateway has a huge amount of surface area on it. Yeah, he's got to pull probes to back up the Zealot so it doesn't get surrounded. There we go. 2 Zealots and 4 probes definitely can take down 10 Zerglings. You just don't want to lose all your probes. The Nexus does start at 2 minutes 15. That's a very well-timed Nexus. Remember, the Zerg is only on 14 drones. Reynor's economy is so much worse than Neeb's. But there's still a lot of micro going on. Once the Adept is out, the Zergling's time is over. Oh, okay. Really good micro by Neeb. Doesn't lose a single unit, and the Adept's out. Reynor knows this timing, so he just leaves. He says, look, these 10 Zerglings, very important. If I throw them away, the Zealot Adept counterattack is going to force me to build Zerglings, which means I'll be stuck on a much lower economy. But if I preserve these Zerglings, I can do some stuff. And look at this. Oh, he actually waits for the Adept to leave. Oh, he's looking for the surround. So what Reynor's hoping is the Adept shades out, and he wants to catch it with his Zerglings if possible. Oh no, he's going to try and go back in. But the Adept is still there. Oh, Neeb's not watching. Neeb's not watching. Oh my god, Neeb's not watching. Oh my lord. That is a dirty move. You're not expecting that. As Neeb right there, you're not expecting that. Very rare. It's either the Zerglings have already tried to go in or not. But man, okay, that's really annoying. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's just these units are just the ones from the start, and yet they're getting such good value. Oh, he does get us around, but I think this is a good fight for Neeb. Yeah, Neeb with some very good Zealot micro. He's not even going to lose that Zealot, I don't think. Oh my god, 4 hit points. Now, the Overlord's in there, as is this Zergling, but that Stalker's going to kill the Overlord as well. Neeb ends up with his fantastic micro, despite losing the Adept for free. This still works out great for him. He's got an Oracle on the way. He's on equal workers. 3rd base has not started. Reynor going for the Ling speed here. He's now going to move out and take a 3rd, but he's built way too many Overlords as well. Reynor's opening, his follow-up was not that efficient. I don't think he's practiced this all that much. It feels to me like Reynor here, he's doing some really cool, intuitive, advanced adjustments and maneuvers, but he actually has not come out of this in the lead at all. And he's only got 2 queens with oracles coming over. I mean, a Spore does not defend an oracle, even if it finishes in time, which I think it should just barely do. Now, there is a Nexus up there. Reynor does not see that actually start. He might be able to guess it, though. He should go back and check for it. And any drone kills are massive because it's already a 4-5 worker lead advantage. Good queen positioning. And good Overlord spready as well for Reynor. Reynor is just missing an Overlord down the bottom, and he's filling this hole at the top with this Overlord as well. So he's got very good vision of where that will be coming from. On the other hand, Neeb, though, he's got the 3rd up. He's gone double gas here. Now, that's interesting, guys. Double gas on the natural, continuing to chrono Oracles, and only on 1 gate. Oh, my lord. So he gets a shield battery there as well. He's worried about like a Ling Flood coming in potentially. Reynor's going to harass because it only costs him APM, and Reynor has unlimited APM. But only now a 2nd gateway going down. Some players will go 4 gate before Twilight Forge. Looks like he's just going to go 2 gate into Forge first, then Twilight. Oracle's coming in. If they can find some damage, Reynor's going to be in the dumps. But they aren't able to. Perfect positioning so far. And oh, look at that. cancels the shield battery. Reynor being very annoying, dude. Just leading those zealots out into the open, and then he loops around, gets the shield battery kill. Oracles are still seeing no drones on the third base. But now we see all those drones transferring more on the way. +1 melee is coming out here for Reynor. And we wonder, is Reynor going to try and play like the mass Zergling build? Will he go, he's on 1 gas. He's got melee. He's only got 3 workers on that 1 gas. Oh, this is what we were waiting for. Now, he actually could have killed the queens if he really wanted to. Neeb, though, he's going to sack that 1 oracle, and he's going to get 6, 7 kills. Not a bad dive. Does take a bit more damage on that second one than he probably would have liked, but still very crucial damage at this point in the game. You can see a nice little 5 worker lead being maintained, and Blink +1, more gateways on the way, and a robo so we can get that scouting, the observers, immortals potentially coming in. Oracle comes in, grabs another drone, 2 drones, and forces a spore trick, which is damage in of itself. Okay, so Reynor's got those 3 mineral lines. He's moving out to take the quick 4th. Now, normally a quick 4th base is down by about 4:50, 5 minutes 20, somewhere around the 5-minute mark before 5:30. This case, it's 6:10, but you've got to remember this opened with a 12 pool, so you can kind of add 30 seconds to the timings of everything since they're both quite slowed down. Lair, second gas, no safety roach horn, no bane nest, straight to second evo. Yeah, Reynor, I think, feels this has been a bit of a messy game, and he's happy to play a very fast and loose style. This is part of his strength as a player. He's very comfortable taking risks and playing just a very dicey style. It's going to be a very mineral-focused, just mass Zergling play for Reynor, and it's surprisingly powerful. Now, if Neeb can figure out this is happening, he still sees very few gases here. If he sees the lack of gas on the natural, the double evo, he needs to basically just go Archons. And if he gets a critical mass of Archons, Archons will destroy mass Zergling. And to deal with that, Reynor needs to get a Roach Warren and swap into Roaches and Ravagers. But the thing is, he does not want to do that because he has no gas building up. He's only on 2 gases. He's going to transfer workers from here up onto that 4th. I like that the Oracles are waiting. He's hoping that the boys transfer over and he catches them out in the open. But Stalkers, they're going to do jack all against mass Zergling. And there's going to be so many Zerglings. Like, Reynor probably doesn't want to drone anymore for a while. He wants to make sure he has an abundance of lings on the map. Baneling Nest does go down, so he's not even going to go for the safety Roach Horn. These Stalkers need to be careful, man. If they get surrounded by the mass lings, this is the problem with this style that Neeb's playing. The common meta style, you always end up doing these Stalker pressures, and they just get surrounded and wrecked by Zerglings. There we go, that's what I'm talking about as well. The backstab on the natural wall. I've been talking a lot about how this natural wall is one of the most important areas, but nice warp in. Stasis Trap in the main gets a freeze. It looks like the other Oracle as well is waiting there. Looks like its one did get denied. I think Reynor managed to kill that Stasis Trap. The Stalker Sentry will get overwhelmed here, but the Prism is going to pull back for now. The Stalkers in the natural have been breached. Uh-oh, we should have warped in some Zealots, man. Stalkers do not have great damage. Zerglings will get in the main. The Stalkers there still pushing forward on the front at the same time. Oracle's on the top right. Holy crap. Neeb says, hey, my opening's being good enough. I don't care if Stalkers aren't good versus Zerglings. I can take you to Dicktown right now. Welcome to America. We have a discount on fucking endless Stalkers right now because we just have more money and more guns than you right now. Your shitty melee Zerglings, your pointy sticks aren't going to deal with what we've got. Reynor, though, not willing to give up. Remember, he is the comeback kid. He's made more comebacks than most players out there ever before. He's got 11 queens. He's going up to 14. I do think that's a bit too many. They can buy time. They're not really going to kill the Stalkers, though. These Oracles missed a big opportunity up there. They now go in. They will get 1, 2, 3 drones, but you don't want to lose those Oracles. And he will be able to get those back. Stalker's still pushing forward on the left side. There's good creep spread up through the middle of the map, so the Stalkers only really have this one avenue where they've cleared the creep so far. And the Banelings are pre-morphed. That's in case some charge zealots come in. But Neeb, interestingly, not even making charge. He's not preparing for the next stage at all. Now he starts +2. Mass Ling run by is trying to get in. These trades have got to be good for Neeb, and indeed they are. He's up a little bit in those trades. Blinks forward, kills 2 queens. Does lose a Stalker or 2. Oh, he's got to be careful. Uh-oh. Okay, he gets to a corner, though. He does get to a corner, and he can blink to the low ground as well. Oh, he's going to lose a lot of units here, though, isn't he? He's trying to warp in some Zealots. These Stalkers just limiting the surface area of those Zerglings. The Banelings trying to come in. I still feel like this is a great trade for Neeb, especially with these little Zealot warp-ins. Oh my god, the positioning there was absolutely deadly. That was not just deadly, kind of disgusting. There's a little bit of my Zerg brain that realizes, hey, Reynor's been on the back foot since his early game didn't work out. You know, I shouldn't really be annoyed or disgusted by that. I'm disgusted by it anyway. Neeb's abuse of that position, his usage of the ledge was just spectacular, man. I always think of Stalkers as a unit that can just get caught out and surrounded like Reapers, but he uses them just like Reapers. If he finds a ledge, if he finds an area he can blink to, he'll be good, but that's a big surround. Oh, blink on cooldown on a lot of those Stalkers, and there we go. He does keep a lot of them alive. He's got to keep them chilled out, let those shields regen. But oh, he wants to punish the queens being off creep. Reynor, oh my god. Okay, the queens do get out of there. And they will keep gathering energy. They're kind of like a giant shield battery at this point. It is still nothing but Blink Stalkers. Neeb here is just utilizing the power of the fact that he is ahead of his opponent. That's exactly what this is about. The Stalkers are not a good, efficient, long-term comp. What they are is amazing versus a player that is not ready for them. Good Baneling connections do land for Reynor. Takes out some of these very valuable Stalkers, but look at these weak Stalkers blinking into the back, all protected there. Even gets 3 Overlords as well. Oh my lord. This is just massive damage. I don't think there's any way for Reynor to get out of this now. He's only on 60 drones. The income, especially on the minerals, is out of control now that Neeb has the gold-based mining. So he's not only being more efficient, but he's also mining more resources. The stasis traps continue to be annoying on both angles. And Reynor, I mean, he's on the back foot. He's outnumbered. He's got 2-1 upgrades, which is pretty cute. If he was able to just get some Banes in a mineral line, that would be great. But look at this, fully walled off. No Baneling angle. Fully walled off Stalker battery. This is the only base that could actually really potentially get hit, the gold base. But even that is going to be pretty hard to actually make work happen in actuality. Now, the Oracles are coming around the backside. You can see Banelings going in. It would take 8 Banelings, I believe, maybe 9 to kill that Stalker. 160 hit points. These guys are doing 20 damage a hit. So yeah, I mean, you're going to take 9 Banelings just to get through that Stalker in the wall. That is not efficient at all, especially with the battery there. If they don't blow up all at once, it'll actually take more than that. Case in point, guys, the Banelings, they find just no angle. Stalker's pushing forwards on the front. Neeb realizes when he's ahead that if he just doesn't take his foot off the throat of the opponent, if he just keeps on pummeling and doesn't give them a chance to get back in it, that he can overwhelm. And I think Neeb's understanding of what to do with leads that he builds for himself is second to none. It's bringing me back to 2016, 2017, when Neeb was the best, one of the best Protoss players in the world, probably the best at that time, when he was winning Casper Cup, breaking the Korean streak of dominance, when he was winning tournaments left, right, and center, when he won all 3 out of 4 WCS tournaments in 2017, it looked just like this. Perfect early game into just overwhelming, unfair mid game. Beautiful play by Neeb. Oh, right. Okay, he fell behind in the previous game. We saw that very efficient early game defense. Even though he did a little surprise surround on the Adept, Reynor did drop a map at 1. Neeb a little bit too solid. And if you let him get ahead of you, I'm a bit ahead of you, I've survived by being a little greedy, I am immediately going to turn that into just an overwhelming counter aggression that hits harder and with more stuff than anyone else. That's always been what Neeb was famous for, is like he'd skip the probe scout or cut some little corner, or he'd optimize his opening a little bit so he's a bit further ahead, and then he would have the most disgustingly powerful glaive adept timings hitting you. Like that was one of his specialties in PvZ back in 2016 and 2017. It was like, I remember like I'd just be talking to him or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I can now get 2 more probes out and still hit 4 minutes 20, 6 adepts inside the Zerg natural. And I was like, what the shit? And he'd like, he'd be like, oh, you got to, chrono boost the Cyber Core here, do this there. That needs to line up with that. If this happens, this. Like, it's just the number of details that Neeb has when he's on point and he's really passionate about the game is so cool. And it was interesting because back then, no one could hit the timings that he could hit. But he would always know, like, if he could get away with anything, like if you don't catch him off guard early with like a cheese, he gets out of control. So I think Rogue versus Neeb is always an interesting match because Rogue either cheeses him and exposes his weakness and Neeb looks terrible and people are like, Neeb's bad, Americans suck at StarCraft. Or Neeb shits all over Rogue and makes him look like he doesn't belong there. So like, it's always the most one-sided match ever because either Rogue gets him with a cheese or Neeb just dominates him in the mid game. It's always one or the other. It's like, and I think historically Rogue probably has the better win rate because he's been such a consistent god tier player for so many years. But yeah, a few famous matches they had many years ago, and I always thought it was really funny to watch because like you just like, oh okay, these guys like are really pushing their leads and their edges wherever they can and seeing who can get ahead. Now these 2 adepts are going to go across the map. He didn't open with the first one. Stargate's almost out. And that was a double chrono on the adepts, guys. So this is Neeb not having as many probes as normal because he's leaning into his aggression. So Neeb is not going to be going as economic. You notice he only has 7 probes here so far, but if he can find some damage, it'll all be worth it. There's 4 Zerglings out, 6 more on the way. 10 Zerglings should be able to defend this. Oh, that's a dead creep tumor. Very nice. Neeb needs to not commit to the shade there. He sees the Zerglings, so it'd be crazy to do, but he does it anyway. He made it look like he was almost idling there with that. And he's going to be able to kill all these Zerglings, but I think he loses this Adept unless he shuffles it behind the other Adept, which he does. Pulls the weak one behind, but he needed to keep running with that Adept. This one goes into the main. And you know what? A drone, 6 Zerglings, a creep tumor. It's not too bad for 2 Adepts. I wouldn't say it's amazing. But, you know, you also forced all those Zerglings out that weren't drones, and you wasted a bit of mining time on the natural, making those drones pull away. So definitely it's acceptable. 37 to 30 always looks very, very, very good, but Zerg will naturally catch up in a moment. And because of this, you've got to be much more defensive in your stance. There's not even an Adept here. Now, that's a terrible pylon positioning for creating a choke between the Nexus. But the whole purpose of why Neeb has done it that way is because he wants to have this position to wall off here and here with gateways. Remember what he did last game. He wants to wall off so the Zerglings can't get in. So he says, no, that's fine. I can just hide in the mineral line if need be with this Adept. The Oracles are going to dive. This Adept should be able to easily handle these Zerglings. It's only a couple of them. Oh, the Queens coming in from both sides. The Oracle's going to dive past. There's Spores as well. Oh, is he going to get a single kill? Oh, Reynor with some very sexy pulls. Only 2 drones going down there. They didn't host Gameheart for this one. So, unfortunately, it looks like they didn't host the correct mod for this map. Otherwise, we would have had 2 worker kills pop up there. It is what it is. 3rd Oracle comes out as well. We've got the Twilight, the Forge, and another Gateway. That's only now his 2nd Gateway. Guys, I'm looking at the way Neeb's opening here, and I'm like, this makes perfect sense with how Reynor's playing, which is very efficient, +1 melee, mass queenling. On the other hand, if Reynor were to just walk 4 queens across the map and do a Ling Flood with it, or a Roach Ravager Ling, like the old school queen walk, easiest win of his life. Neeb's opening is so bloody greedy. And, you know, you can look at that in 2 ways. You can say, well, Neeb's stupidly greedy and he should get punished. But I actually think this is a reaction to the fact that he knows Reynor likes to play this very greedy style. Notice Reynor's 4th base goes down at 5 minutes 10. Much faster this game. His stasis traps are up as well. And both sides are just going to be rushing forwards. 2 gases, 3 mineral lines. Going to also get that 4th mineral line up in the near future. Reynor should already be building mass Zerglings at this point, guys, because he actually doesn't have anywhere for these drones to go. Notice he keeps oversaturating this base. So to me, it feels like he's a little bit new to this kind of mass mineral style that he's playing. Now, he's moved the Spores behind, but that means his queens need to be nearby as well to help defend. He does need to, if I were him, I'd already have a Spore Crawler building here so that he can defend that mineral line, because you know Neeb is always camping, looking for that mineral line. You've got to be careful here as Reynor. He's got drones mainarding over there. They could easily have been zapped. That's a really common sloppy mistake for Reynor there, just sending unprotected drones to the 4th. So not his best. Oh, interesting. Neeb leaves a little opening here so he can move forwards a bit easier. Prisms on the way, a few Stalkers, and a lot of sentries, 5 sentries. Wow. Okay, this is fascinating. So 8 gate sentry Stalker push. That's a much slower push. It's more about like force fielding and being super efficient. But if you ever lose the sentries, it's not as flexible as the other one. The Oracles go back in. A few more drones go down, man. And Reynor, he's up in by 2 workers. So I think his economy is looking way better, especially because I don't feel like Neeb's ahead this game. I feel like this is a much more even game. But I think Reynor's style of pure mass Zergling counters Neeb's of just Stalkers. I think Neeb needs to go Archons. So Charge and Archons would both be fantastic here. Oracle's going to the right side. There's no Spore. You don't need it with 3 queens, though. Oh, Reynor, a little slow to react there. Could have got an Oracle easily if he was just A-moving even, probably. Adept comes in. Very nice shade on the Adept. +1 melee is sick, though. So those Zerglings, Reynor using the micro, does manage to get the kill anyway. Army down here. That's an easy 5th base snipe. And he will be able to take that one out. Neeb is like, oh, wait, what? You have a base there, you greedy shit? I'm surprised Reynor didn't expand to the top side, actually. I'm sure he will when this gets cancelled. Massling Bane going to be coming in. Doesn't have Baneling speed, though. I don't know why Reynor's making so many Banelings. That, to me, seems surprising. I actually think he should be just way heavier on the Zerglings. Let's see how this works out. Force fields could be deadly. Could be! Oh my god, Reynor, where? Oh my god, Neeb waiting for the last second with that force field. The very last second. There we go. The sentries do all go down. He does get a pretty good trade. It feels like Neeb to start, but losing the sentries is very expensive. Does kill a lot of the Banelings. And now it's just Stalkers and Oracles. Back to the standard army, right? The stasis traps behind this are very annoying. If the Lings ever come in with a giant flank, they can get punished. Lings come in from behind. Stalkers there as well. That one sentry throws down a a Pyrrhic force field, I guess. I don't know. The Stalkers at the front getting surrounded. It looks like this is not going well for Neeb. Not going well for Neeb at all. He's trying to warp in more. The stasis trap only freezes a handful of Zerglings. Oh no, he loses his warp prism. and he does not have the advantage this time to just overwhelm with Stalkers. This is the game where he needed to transition onwards and upwards, because Reynor, 80 workers of pure Zergling production is one of the most insane things ever. Guys, 3,600 minerals a minute. Each Zergling is 25 minerals. Do the maths. That's right, chat. I'm outsourcing this one to Twitch chat. We'll update you guys in the next 20, 30 seconds on what they say. How many Zerglings a minute can Reynor build with that? Imagine he doesn't make Banelings, Queens, Drones. If he swaps to only Zerglings, I don't even know if he has enough lava to do it. It's something like friggin' 400 Zerglings. I'm definitely not exaggerating. 152 is what chat says. I'm going to trust that number. 152 Zerglings a minute. That means 2 minutes go by, 300 supply, which is of course more than 150 supply of actual army, which is not possible to build. So Reynor, his income's crazy, and he's actually going Hydras, which is super cool to see. What I don't like is he's got no upgrades for them, and you guys know my thoughts on Hydras with no upgrades. This here is like buying whatever shitty crypto your uncle tells you. He's like, oh yeah, you should buy the cum rocket crypto, it's gonna be big. And I'm like, how do you know that? You're a plumber. And he's like, fucking Reddit on 4chan. I'm like, okay, yeah, nah. Thankfully, he does click one upgrade, but he really needs to get the other upgrade as well. No Overseer here, so Neeb's Observer sees everything. So Neeb's going to try and do a slow kind of comeback to everything else right now. He's going to try and slowly work up, but that Storm is way too late, in my opinion. He needs the Storm for this attack. If he had Storm, he can crush this next fight. I mean, there's not that many Banelings, actually, so I think it's hard for Reynor to attack right now. He's got +2 melee, +1 ranges on the way. Some cannons are building there. Stasis traps maybe going to be the saving grace. I don't know. So Warp Prism on the right, watching for Baneling run-bys. Neeb doesn't really have much over here. I think that's fully walled at least, so that pylon has to get busted to let units into this base. But yeah, Neeb needs a minute. He's like, can I please just get Storm? Oh man, he needs 30 seconds. I think Neeb can still get back in this game just because it is only Hydra Bane. It's a very Lair-Tech focus for Reynor. His economy is not that great, but right now his army is very scary. Oh, that's a good stasis. Kind of acting as a bit of a force field there. The High Templar are moving to the right side. Lings and Banes starting to move on through into the cannon battery here, and oh, losing that battery would be huge, and indeed it will go down. So yeah, these Stalkers get isolated. Storm's going to kick in a few seconds too late. Now, there is a nice counter Zealot warp in, but the Queens deal with that. The power of the Queens, man, they're very tanky. And it looks like these Stalkers will get overrun. The 5th base dying, maybe not the end of the world if he can get back over here and regather some army, but now he's just got no actual DPS to support. Baneling drop does come in. I don't know how many probes that managed to get, but oh, he drops one at the last second, gets a few extra. Not too bad there at all. Reynor does still not have muscular augments for his Hydras. These are very slow, awkward Hydralisks. I think he's far enough ahead from the early game that it's all going to work out okay, but to me, this looks like classic unrefined Reynor. What do you mean unrefined Reynor? He's a 3-times World Championship finalist, Pig. Yeah, and he does it improvising. Reynor's builds in ZvT, his openings are some of the most clean, perfect things I've ever seen, and his mid to late game looks sloppy as all hell a lot of the time. Early game ZvP, especially with these new styles, you can tell it's very intuitive. He's figuring it out as he goes to a certain extent. And the thing is, I don't think his follow-up to the early game is all that solid. His Hydra upgrades aren't there. He's only now going Hive. And I think he's far enough ahead. He should still be able to win. But I really feel with the position he had, he should have been able to put Neeb in the grave by now. I'm going to come out and be critical and say, look, does it matter? No. Is he winning? Yes. But it's something that we can be aware of. So if Neeb can transition into splash damage, not overcommit on that Stalker Sentry attack, cancel the 5th, hang out a bit, and then just pull back, not get surrounded on creep, it's a very different game. And I think Reynor, off Hydra Bane, number 1, should have remembered his Hydra upgrades, but number 2, should have been going Broodlords much quicker as a follow-up. Broodlords is an easy checkmate against a Protoss who's just stuck on this ground army. Ultras could work, or Lurkers. Actually, I think Lurkers would probably be the easier tech if you're already on Hydra Bane here. Not a big fan normally of Hydra Bane into Lurkers, but that could be pretty massive. Now, Neeb's still hanging on here, and he's still looking for those magic storms. As I said, Hive and Lurkerton has just started. There's hope. There is a dream. There's a mothership on the way. Neeb's like, yeah, I've got a mothership. I'm going to make my units invisible. You haven't made an Overseer all game. This Observer's seen everything you're building. All right, maybe I could do this with mass Psystorm and a mothership. And look at this, guys. 8 High Templar gathering energy. Do you know how ridiculous that is? 8 High Templar gathering energy. Neeb is just hoping to have more storms than Reynor's ever seen. He's like, I'm just going to give you some shit weather. Baneling flank! Oh my god, the Baneling flank almost finds the High Templar. Oh, Reynor, very good pounce. Gets one of the Immortals down. I mean, obviously, this is good trades for Neeb cost efficiency-wise, but in terms of everything else, is it enough? Reynor does force him to morph them all into Archons. I mean, the battle itself is obviously bad cost for Reynor, but remember, he just built another 15 workers. His Queens are defending the Zealots. He's got this base. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is base number 5. He's even got 12 workers going over to base number 6. His mineral income is still at 3,700 minerals a minute. What the hell, man? That is so, he can throw units away for days. Any trade's a good trade just because of the economic disparity between these players. As long as he keeps denying Neeb's 5th base and keeps Neeb's army small and keeps the energy low on these High Templar, Reynor's going to be able to make it to that Hive Tech, those Lurkers, and there's no direct answer to the Lurkers in this army. Because remember, there's only one Robo. Immortals can beat Lurkers, but that you need a lot of them. Oh no! My keyboard went to German? Oh, you're kidding me! What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Instant rewind, guys. We're going to go back 10 seconds there. What the hell? Oh my god, there was a pause. Neeb competing in Germany just in the lead up to Home Story Cup. He must have just arrived at this point, which is why they're both playing with even ping. This was played just before Home Story Cup, guys. And it looks like he mishit a button on the keyboard and it swapped to German, maybe pressing shift too much or something like that. Oh my god, what a time for it to happen. And these probes all get cornered there. That is absolutely nasty. They did a pause, they unpaused. Apparently Neeb not arguing to try and get recover from replay or anything. He just kind of said, rip, whatever, I'll take it. And he was already pretty far behind, but now his economy is absolutely chucked in the dumpster. That is a nasty one. That is absolutely chucked in the dumpster. Mama's going to come out. He's going to try and do that desperate counter push. He's got 10 High Templar in there. 10 High Templar, 2 Immortals, some stuff. Oh my god, the Banelings made it over there as well. Reynor's killed 57 probes, and he's just going to remax on Hydraling Bane. He's making no Lurkers. I'm surprised he didn't make... Lurkers would have been the thing to do here. This looks like a lot of my games in the last week where I've really screwed up, and you got to make Lurkers against this. I mean, he'll have enough Banelings. Even without the Overseers, he would be able to get in there. The Queens might block his Banelings, though. He's got to be wary of that. Storm's coming down to zone him out. He doesn't send the Banelings in yet. Good pullback by Reynor initially there. He's still trying to come in, but that Time Warp's actually super good. The slow bubble. Neeb, can he actually do this with this one big all-in? I told you guys that Reynor wasn't finishing the game as decisively as he should have, and he was taking way too long to get this done. Well, guess what? We've got +2 plasma shields, +3 armor coming in. We've still got plenty of Psystorm. There's a 5th base up here. The drones aren't going to kill that base. That's not a Ling Bane run by. That's a pack of fucking drones, that is. Neeb, he's up on 60 probes still, which means he's still able to produce a lot of Archons and Zealots to reinforce. He's got High Templar even on that right side. He's going to catch Reynor's economy. Reynor does have Lurker Tech coming out, which is still a huge problem for Neeb, though, which is why I think maybe Neeb should have shoved in there. He doesn't know what we know. He doesn't know. He might think, oh, maybe he's just stuck on the storm. Big storms on the Zerglings, take those out. A lot of the Zealots do go down, and that storm was not bad, but oh my god, the Banelings. The Banelings are just going to shove on in. These Archons will trade pretty well versus the Ling Bane. The Hydras will take out some from behind. Army is pushing forward on the other side of the map to punish. I mean, this is once again, though, just saying, this is telling Neeb just all in. If he can get through, does he have detection? Oh, he's got no detection and there's Lurkers. Reynor throws everything away. He's literally got like 5 Lurkers and a pack of Queens. And yet Neeb doesn't have detection, so he can't get through it. That Observer that he had earlier in the game. Wait, he's got an Oracle. He's got an Oracle. The Oracle is there. Oh, the Oracle is there. Don't lose the Oracle to the Queen. Okay, he does get a Revelation down, but he doesn't want to push through a choke, especially not with the mass Queens there. Psystorm can really punish the Lurker Queen from moving forward. You can see a bunch of those Queens go down. These bases fall. Neeb's still on 57 probes. I cannot believe it. It looks like Neeb's going to win this game, guys. Neeb was so far behind, and he swapped his keyboard to German, and he says, Reynor, I'm going to give you every possible handicap, but you're too shit. I am American, and I'm bringing the power of hamburgers and fucking guns and awesomeness and freedom. That's right. I might not be able to pass an IQ test, but I'm fucking awesome. I'm waving a flag and I'm stamping it right here. I claim this territory just like I did the moon when we did that in that studio filming that moon landing thing. Meanwhile, in the top left side, we've got battery cannon overcharge. The Lurkerling Bane will deny Neeb's 5th base. That is the most important base. Oh, no, 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 no. More probes going down. Good Size Storm does clip some of the Zerglings, up to 78 probes dead. The Lurkers and the Lings are on that base as well. The army's going to move back in on the south. Now, Neeb losing that base is huge because as long as he had that base, he had a massive income advantage. Now it really just comes down to army versus army. And if I was Neeb, I would be going, oh, he lost his Robo, guys. He lost his Robo as well. Lings are running in. They should get cleaned up. And if he can catch the Lurkers on the move, I think he can fight decently. Oh man, if I were him, I'd run in and try to Size Storm these drones because I feel like every drone is sacred right now for Reynor. That being said, actually, Reynor's massively oversaturated, so maybe not. It is more about the armies. He needs more Robos and Immortals. Immortals or Disruptors would be absolutely killer because all you've got is Lurkers, right? And they get absolutely countered by Immortals in small numbers. They get massively countered by them. Disruptors would be great. He's going to go Stargates, though. Is that 3-star? Is he going Void Ray? Or is he actually going to go Phoenix? No, he's going to go for a low economy Phoenix transition, guys. He's going to try and pick all of the Lurkers up because otherwise he would have already started the fleet beacon, unless it's just a mistake because he's broke. Oh, no, 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 not again, not again. Okay, Neeb's economy looking all right. Reynor right now is back in comeback mode. He's like, oh, I could totally do this, man. He's only got +1 range on these as well. No carapace upgrades or anything like that up against 3-2-3 Protoss units. Oh, the Oracle barely survives in the top. The Oracle, his only detection. Very important that he keeps that one following his mothership. Remember, he doesn't have any other detection except what this one observer that's just come out here. These Lurkers are going to run in. Oh, Neeb! Neeb's not watching. Oh, but seeing that there's an observer there, Reynor will respect it and run away. Storm does clip some of the Lurkers, but doesn't really kill too many. Kills the gas. He's still just moving around right now. He really needs an observer. Clearing this creep up would be huge. Reynor's advantage is that creep. He gets to see where the army is well before it actually gets to his side of the territory. Neeb does not have a new 5th base or anything like that. He's going to need to take one. And it feels like Reynor's able to like, oh, I got a base up. I got a sneaky base up. I don't think Neeb... He knows the hatchery's there, but he keeps getting blocked from it. So it's this half base and that full base of minerals versus what? 3/4 of minerals, half base. Similar income on both sides right now. Neeb's a little behind in the minerals. Maybe Neeb should take that right side base would be really good. The observer getting here does allow him to clear up the creep. He's just got to be real careful. Of course, Lurkers slay Stalkers like no tomorrow. Ooh, this is still very scary. And what's at home defending? That's a pretty good Stalker Zealot economy. If he flanks these Lurkers, he crushes it. And he's naturally set up to flank it. This is so dangerous for Reynor. There's even a carrier there. Carrier can't beat that many Hydras, though. Oh, no, don't attack like this. This is an awkward attack angle for Neeb, I think. Oh, Neeb kind of shoving in awkwardly. Neeb's messed up his engage. Where's his detection? Where's his detection? His army's coming in? But it's a flank. A flank is still a flank, and flanks do destroy against Lurkers. He gets some storms down, but he actually storms in the middle of the Lurkers and doesn't hit very many of them. His observer is still there, but I don't know, man. Is he messing it up? I think Neeb might have messed up his flank. He got a bit too eager to jump on this. He should have spread his units out before he went in on top of that, and now he's attacking through a choke point as well. Oh, man. Okay, I mean, Neeb, if he kills the army, he still will win the game. The carriers are winning. There's nothing that shoots up here. And it looks like, especially if he gets rid of the Overseer, then the detection will allow him to survive. The Lurk is going to try to run home. But Neeb does defend the army. Is it at too much cost, though? I think he could have shut that army down super hard. Reynor shoving there presented his army to a flank. And honestly, the ground army, even ignoring the fact that there was little anti-air and carriers, the ground army could have taken that one out. So this was a huge mistake for Reynor, but I think Neeb let the opportunity slip him by. Now, he's still got a scary little army here. There's not many Hydras, and he should be able to shove one in. It's only +1 air weapons, but there's no carapace upgrades. So even with just +1 air weapons, I mean, he's in between the rally. He's picking off the Hydras and the Lings as they come over the Viper, though. But actually, he doesn't have enough damage to even kill these air units, even if he abducts them. And this is 4 carriers now, so that is a bit too much. Oh! Chad Lurker! Spines in your butt! Spikes in your butt! Spikes in your butt, says the Lurker as he goes in there. Carrier on the rear. Does get hit a little bit. Oh, you gotta be careful. Nice abduct. The Hydras are gonna get a carrier. Reynor with some clutch micro in a dicey position. The Lurker gets cleaned up there. Only got some spikes in the probes. I mean, Neeb absolutely should be winning this game, but Mama's gonna get kited as well. She gets grabbed. The carriers jump on top. The Hydras go down. And Neeb resurrects himself for the 2-0 advantage. Guys, I did not realize that Neeb won this game. And I was criticizing Reynor for not being decisive enough with the Hydraling Bane. I did not actually really think Neeb was going to bring it back. But you got to be careful on Data C, man. You can't give a Protoss that much time. Neeb recovers from behind, fights back, and it's now up 2-0. Right, all right, guys. Well, he let that one slip away, going into a bit of a sloppy Hydra Bane follow-up. I think he was a little slow to get the Baneling drops going, and I don't know, I just got to say, where was the Hive transition, personally? This is Reynor in the top right. We were talking about it many minutes before it happened, that he wasn't really pressing his advantage as much as he needed to. But holy crap, the comeback for Neeb. Now, Neeb, very lucky to win there. Onsides, Neeb, of course, up against Kaisi Gaming is Reynor's team. So both playing for Asian-based teams, and it's cool that they're picking up some of these star players. I believe they're both Asian-based anyway, since they do have a lot of Korean and Chinese players on both of them. Now, Neeb, he got in trouble in that last game because he committed with Stalker Sentry into a Mass Zergling build. It's a bad move. It's a really bad move. I think his run-by defense is spot on. Like, right? Neeb's wall-offs and his defense of the Ling run-bys is huge. But I think if you're going to do that pressure, maybe make it pure Stalker just so it's a bit more flexible, and really be careful about getting flanked by Mass Zergling and that sort of stuff. So he got away with it in that last game, but if you're up against just Mass Zergling, I think you've got to counter the Zerglings. I think if you can get into Archons really quickly, that can be huge. A few more Zealot run-bys sometimes can be good, though Ling mobility does deal with that quite well. But definitely, I think overcommitting to Stalkers can get you in trouble. Now, what would be really cool, I actually would love to see Reynor do the same, Neeb do the same style, but straight into charge. Hero was doing this for a while around King of Battles. He doesn't do it much anymore because it's not as solid. But I think the real problem he had is he did it every game at that time. Hero was like, every game I go for quick charge instead of blink, and he just starts attacking with charge zealots everywhere, which is a very cool style. But if your opponent gets a big enough ball of roaches, if they get banelings hitting them, obviously they can counter just zealots. The thing is, though, it's so much cheaper and more flexible than the Stalkers. A zealot is 100 minerals. A Stalker is 125 minerals and 50 gas. That's 75 extra resources. It's almost double the resource cost. And when it comes to fighting Zerglings, a Zealot kills Zerglings. I'm going to say, if you have a +1 attack and they don't have +1 armor yet, and Zerg almost never has armor, basically once you have +1, you 2-hit the Zergling. So a Zealot actually kills Zerglings at about, I don't actually know the speed of effective death. If Printf's in the chat, maybe he can let me know. I'd say it's about 2.3 times. It would be just my estimate. I think a Zealot +1 attack advantage over the Carapace upgrades kills Zerglings at a 2.3 times the rate of a Stalker killing those Zerglings. Now, that's totally an estimate off the top of my head based on my own game sense. It's not based on numbers. I did see Printf in chat earlier, and I'm like, if anyone could do the numbers on that really quickly, it would totally be him. But yeah, it's definitely way faster. They kill shit really quickly. They cost way less. If you lose them, you don't care. And guess what? If you're only making mineral units, your gas banks up really quickly, which means you can make Archons. And if you're suddenly got all these Archons coming in, you can go into Colossus, Disrupt, there's all sorts of beautiful things behind that. And suddenly it's very difficult for the Zerg to keep up. Now, this is something which, it's kind of a blind spot. No one even thinks of just playing charge. Like, Oracle into charge, that's silly. That's not good, pig. And I'm like, it's a little vulnerable to all-ins as well, because obviously Stalkers can micro back with batteries and shoot over walls and use choke points. Zealots can't do any of that stuff. So it is a bit of a gamble, but I think it's like one of those gambles that should absolutely be mixed into every best of 5. And it's something the European players, I don't think I've seen a single European player do it. And even the Korean players that, you know, Hero invented it. Even he's not using it much anymore. So I think it's a blind spot. I think the Zergs are really weak to it, especially playing this Mass Zergling style. Zealots are way better against that. Oh, good surround. Very nice surround. That Adept's in a bad spot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That Oracle needs to get back here real fast. Ooh, good micro here. Now, yeah, the Lings are just going to wait, get the Oracle to turn on its laser. Oh, well done by Reynor. Notice he got it to turn on its laser, didn't lose a single Zergling. Chad moves. 2 more Adepts do warp in. Once again, guys, this pylon positioning should be 1 space lower, and it would create a perfect choke point between the Nexus and the pylon. Neeb's usually pretty good with his pylon placement. I get he wants this pylon to gateway wall off, that's okay, but this wall off here is shit. 4 or 5 Zerglings on both sides. Easy surface area. If that pylon's 1 space lower, I don't know, man. I personally love it. I'll have to talk to Neeb about it next time I've got his ear. Oracles do take out a queen. We'll see what happens. The Phoenix moves to the left. The Oracles move to the right. Reynor hasn't really lost any economy this game, guys. He hasn't lost a single drone. And he's actually just being a bit more active. He's disrupted the 3rd, killed a couple of Adepts. He's only lost 2 drones now. And he's on 49 workers, and this time he's going to build a Roach Warren. That's interesting. So he's got the safety Roach Warren. A little bit of a safer style. Will he actually use it, though? So far, bit of a quicker layer as well, maybe. Maybe slightly quicker. Actually, I'm not sure if it's any quicker. Fourth base went down before 5 minutes. Okay, so he got that pre-5 minute fourth. Second gas goes down super late. Still looks like a very similar style. Basically mass Zergling. I think the Roach Warren's just there for safety. I think he says, look, after the last game, I expect you to go Archons quicker. And it is straight charge! Oh! Neeb! Daddy, please! Oh my god, he's doing the style that I wanted to see. Now, he's going up in the gases a bit faster, so he's going a bit slower into the Zealots than I would have liked. I think this style is best if you actually go for the gateways off 2 gas. So you notice Neeb's banking 500 gas. So I don't think Neeb has as much experience with this style as Hero. And he's only on 6 gates. He really needs to get 2 more gateways right now to get up to 8, and a Templar Archives to spend that gas that's banking up, and he can do a brutal Zealot Archon timing. But because there's a quicker Roach Warren this time, Reynor's actually safer against it. So that, you know, a few different things to consider here, and definitely something where we'll have to see how good Neeb is at the start. But right now, guys, there's 2 Zergings, 6 Queens. It's past 6 minutes. And Neeb easily could be attacking with 10 charge lots right now and just killing some queens, clearing creep, picking off drones, really getting some good trades and keeping Reynor on the back foot, and then take the 4th maybe 30 seconds later behind that. 6 minute 34th is still very quick. Templar Archives and 7th and 8th Gateway go down. And definitely he's playing charge lots as a defensive style right now, and that's interesting. Doesn't have the same punch as that Hero style that I really liked, where 5 minutes 30, he'd consistently be hitting you with charge zealots after the Oracle opening, just like those Stalker pressure builds. Oh, he sieges up in range of the Spore. That's not good. Does at least save the zealots, but just a slight shuffle there. Does he see the Spire, guys? Oh, he didn't quite see the Spire. Oh my god. And oh! Oh my god, he barely keeps the Prism alive. Okay, recalls at home, but guys, he doesn't know about the Spire, and that's huge. Reynor's up on 74 workers. He's got 6 gas. He's going to get like 8 mutas in, and there's nothing that shoots up except, what, a couple of Archons coming in. There's like 1 Phoenix out right now. Roaches are building. The Oracles will turn on their lasers. 2 probes go down in this base. Neeb's economy not quite as powerful in comparison to what it was in the other game. And this is what happens if you don't pressure with the Zealots. The Zerg gets a free window to drone up. Neeb, intelligent, strategic choice, swapping straight into a Zealot style, but bad execution in terms of the timing. You can tell he's new to the style and he doesn't execute it with the same crisp aggression. You really need to use those Zealots, the same as a Stalker pressure, to keep the Zerg from droning this hard. Now, Reynor's had too much freedom. And the thing is, even though he can't beat this army in a frontal fight, he doesn't need to, because he can just base trade. He can go around with the Mutiling Bane. So his Lings should keep backstabbing right now. He's got to be careful. Looks like Neeb does want to push him, but remember that Warp Prism is very low as well on the bottom. Neeb still doesn't have the vision of these mutas coming out, and they are now gathering up, right? Where are those Mutmuts, guys? Here they are, moving down the south side of the map. Will Neeb see it? Oh my god, he's going to see it. He's going to see it. He gets a glimpse of the Mutalisks coming forwards. His 5th base is going down right now. Neeb on 76 workers. No cannon in the mineral line, but he's got one nearby. He does warp some Stalkers in, and Blink is almost finished. So you know what? Blink almost finished is pretty good for him, but the Muta's overwhelming. Good micro by Reynor, pulling in and out those weak guys. The old in and out, something that Reynor is very good at, you know, really defying those stereotypes. A lot of people don't think of that when they think of really nerdy guys that are good at video games, but Reynor, I mean, he's got that experience at this point. World champion, you know. Stalker's coming forward, going down, taking a few of these Mutas. That wall off does not get breached. He's coming up. Does lose an Oracle. 1 Oracle tags the Mutas, though. Good defense by Neeb, but if he loses the 5th, he's in trouble. Roach Speed was forgotten! Reynor only now starts Roach Speed! Oh my god, they're so slow, these waddly boys! The Stalkers should be able to blink on those guys. There's not that many Stalkers, but it's enough to defend this. Reynor's going to get in the back, though. Oh, and he does get a cancel on the 5th base in the bottom. Stalkers there should be able to shut this down. Finally is going to be able to deal with that. Oh! And Neeb... yeah, okay, these Mutas are going to get a little bit more damage. The Roachling on the south side. Reynor desperately needs to get to Hive Tech. Broodlords or Ultras right now are needed. His Mutas, oh, they're going to go down. Bit of a miss micro from Reynor, not quite managing those, and does lose an extra couple of Mutas. 3 Mutas do not have the lethality. They can't one-shot probes anymore. And guess what? Double Forge is up, which means Mutas, Zerglings, not going to do too well the longer this game goes. That being said, Neeb is focusing on armor upgrades. Good for Zealots versus Zerglings. Decent versus the Roaches. Not good versus things like the Banelings, and I think as his Archon count grows, he's going to want more other units. He's very heavy on Zealots right now against a very heavy Baneling player, and Reynor might just blow up the gateways and just roll in. Reynor looking very aggressive. Oh no, Neeb with a miss rally. Recalls the Immortal, somehow gets it out. Oh my lord. A couple banelings do go up, guys. No Psystorm. It's nothing but raw fighting units for Neeb. So Neeb really needs to focus on his defensive positioning. The banelings blow up that wall, as we pointed out. They roll in and kill every probe on this base. On the right side, a stasis holds up. 22 probes do go down. Did he just click on the Nexus? Yes, he did. Clicks on the Nexus. He clicks with his dick, does Reynor, and he takes that Nexus down. Neeb can recover from this. He's on 55 workers, but that was a lot of banelings to take that out. This is still a pretty decent army, but I think the lack of splash damage is what's kind of scary. Neeb, he's got a lot of High Templar. I think he thinks he's got Psystorm, guys. Why else would he have so many High Templar in here? Neeb. Oh, and Reynor goes back in with just a handful of Zerglings and does that. Zealots in the main do warp in. Mutiling, gonna clean that up. Recancel on this is really good. This tells Reynor that his opponent is super all in economically. He's like, dude, your economy sucks right now. And Neeb's still not starting up Psystorm. He must have thought that he started it and he didn't quite have the gas when he pressed the button. He's doing so many things at once right now, and not realizing that Psystorm's not there is huge. He's going to try to storm in this fight and realize, wait, why is my storm not going down? He's got to realize at this point, he's just going to try and shove forward, but an awkward angle here for Neeb. Doesn't matter, his army's good enough. There we go, I told you guys. He's got to realize, but he realizes, and he goes back to start Psystorm as the Baneling run by comes in, and Reynor just overwhelming at this point, guys. He's got 3,000 minerals in the bank. As long as he can stop this shove, Reynor has GG'd the economy. He has pushed the economy of Neeb into Dicktown. If Neeb's going to shove, he needs to morph Archons. There's no way he has Storm in time. He either pulls back and rebuilds, or he morphs Archons right now. He's not doing either. Neeb needs to make a decision. But look at this. There's creep everywhere. There's a 5th base in the bottom for Reynor. Reynor has so much money. He's out of gas, and he doesn't have that many Ravagers. And it's very even army supply with Neeb actually slightly ahead. If Neeb had Psystorm, I'm convinced he wins this game. But without the Psystorm, I don't think he can. And it looks like he's going to try and wait for Psystorm. He does have force fields available. Stasis Trap gets set off by a single Roach. Hero Roach there takes one for the team. And Reynor, he just needs more Lings, more Banes, more Banes, more Banes, more Banes. Anything to hold off this army. He's going to try and flank from both sides. Storm comes in, but all of his High Templar go down with just one Storm landing. And a bit of a tragic game there for Neeb. He tries to do the style, which was perfect to counter how Reynor was playing this series, but he doesn't hit the charge lot timing. Lets that one slip away. And you give Reynor breathing room. Oh my god. 80 workers, mutas, Lings, Banelings, Roaches everywhere. Reynor's still in this series. Alright guys, alright, we're going into Moondance now. Reynor in the bottom right here representing Kaizi Gaming. I'm not sure if I mentioned at the start, by the way, this is the EU Weekly number 132 Grand Finals, and since this was played just before Home Story Cup, I believe Neeb had just arrived over there in Europe, so it's probably playing from the Take TV studios and whatnot. Guys, by the way, I asked about the Stalker DPS effectiveness for killing Zerglings versus Zealots. Printf crunched the numbers. He said, Pig, Stalkers take 2.3375 times as long as +1 Zealots to kill Lings, not accounting for overkill. So it might be even less if you have, say, 10 Stalkers all shoot their projectile and they all hit the one Zergling. So it's even less than that. But I said 2.3. I said 2.3, so my estimate was actually so close. I was so bloody close to that, and I mean that's massive. Even if it was twice as effective, you've got a unit, the Zealot, that costs like half as much, right? Not quite, but close to half as much, and it's killing the Zerglings more than 2 times as quick. I mean, it's massive. That advantage is huge. It's such a big thing. So I would have loved to see those Zealots coming forwards. And the thing is, if the Zergs got 10 Queens and 40 Zergs, you just run away with your Zealots. You don't just headbutt with the Zealots. The Zealots are very mobile. Remember that they get a passive movement speed buff when charge finishes, so they actually move really quickly. And it's massive. It allows them to run around and pressure flexibly, and they're so much cheaper. Like I said, they have so much more damage output though. Like if someone hits you with like 6 or 7 Stalkers and you're not ready, you can kind of move your Queens over and stall those out for a good 30-40 seconds. 6 or 7 Zealots run in and you've only got a few Queens, your Queens are going to die so quickly. Your Zerglings, your drones are gonna, like, you need to scramble and actually have enough to defend it. So I think Neeb really messed up in that last game by not pressuring with the charge, and even though he was almost okay from there, for getting Psystorm, it eliminated his ability to come back in the series. Reynor's play, I'm going to say, he's got some really nice details. I don't think he's looking like he's on another level. To me, it feels like Reynor's used to maybe being ahead of his opponents that are normal Protoss players that he's playing. And instead, Neeb, even when things are going wrong for him, is keeping pace with him splendidly. Oh, Neeb is doing a 3-gate. Okay, guys, he's going to do a 3-gate Adept Pressure into 2 Stargate Phoenix. North American Special. This is the North American Special right here. Wait, he's pulling off gas. He's doing a Charge Load all in. Or is it? Or is it just a Glaive Adept all in? Oh my lord! Oh my god, so he's going 3-gate Adept, and then he's going to follow up with really quick Glaives? Or is he going really quick 3rd Nexus? Oh my god, so he's pulled 1 worker off each gas. What a fascinating build. Never mind, guys, it's definitely not the Phoenix build. It's definitely an NA special, though. Look at this, he's chronoing Adept his Warp Gate like 2 or 3 times. So he's going to hit really early with 3-gate, and the whole point of this is this hits well before the Zerg could possibly have a Roach Tech out. So they have to build Zerglings. And then they go back to droning, and then another wave hits behind that. And it is indeed Resonating Glaives. Okay, this is really cool. Oh my god. Okay. This is actually crazy, man. Okay, he's going to go 3rd Nexus behind it as well. So he's going to try and pin Reynor's economy at a really low level. Reynor's already down 6 workers, and he's being forced to mass Zerglings right now. 3rd Nexus is down at 4 minutes as well. Oh, this is an abusive build that Neeb's doing here. Because you have to do nothing but build army right now. And yet these Adepts here. Now, these guys don't have Glaives. If they get surrounded by those Zerglings, they get dicked. So you absolutely need to cancel this Shade. Just keep these Adepts alive. But when Glaives finishes, and then you've got not just 8, but you'll have 11 or 14, right? If he keeps warping in Adepts, and Glaives is going to be finished, you can have 14 Adepts. Roach Warren is almost finished, though. And he's up at 41 workers, which is the important thing here for Reynor. Just 1 gas, so he's got pretty good mineral income. That's his focus right now. He's also got 5 queens, all of them up front. This is dark style. Guess what, though? He'll be missing injects while this is happening. His natural is not injected. His 3rd is injected, so that's pretty good. His Zerglings would like to go around and cancel the opponent's 3rd, but he knows it's in the back of the base. PP lag, bit of lag there. They had to do a pause. They've quickly unpaused, though. 11 workers with Glaives, 3 more warping at home, so it will be 14 soon enough. He's going to take the fight, is Neeb, and he's happy to fight these Zerglings. Adepts pretty good versus Zerglings, but the Roaches are coming forwards and the Queens, which means will the Adepts really get the critical mass? Oh, he gets 2 drones there on the tail end of that. The Roaches are chasing him. Nice movement by Reynor, though, pulling his drones away. The Adepts are not finding that damage that he wants. These Adepts here a bit slow to get in the 3rd. Reynor gets on top of him in terms of the main. He jumps on top with the Roaches. These Adepts trying to shade forwards. Can he focus down the drones? These Adepts need to focus down the drones. Reynor pulling them away. Does lose a couple, but not too many. Not too many at all. These Adepts not getting as many kills as he would have liked and not maintaining the pressure, which means this is being cleaned up. Behind it, the double forge is on the way, and he's going more gateways than Blink. He's on equal workers as Neeb, so it's like you think, oh, he's not too far behind. No, he is. That was a beautiful defense by Reynor. Reynor kept way too many drones alive. If there was still in the follow-up now, 2 Adepts going in here, 2 Adepts going in the back, maybe a Warp Prism, that would be great. But with this build, he can't afford the Warp Prism. And so Neeb losing those units, it's actually a terrible trade for him. 24 Zerglings, 5 drones for 12 Adepts, a little bit of mining time as well. Overall, though, the problem is that Reynor still has 10 Roaches and 6 Queens out. So he's completely safe with those units, knowing he's killed all the Adepts. He's completely fine. And, yeah. Lair is started up. Okay, so I mean, Reynor is just, look at this, 6 gas guys. Reynor ain't playing mass Zergling. Reynor is going to make Roach Speed and a Spire. And he's just going to be trying to outscale. I don't know if he'll go for the Spire. Maybe, I mean, that Evo Chamber placement is so bad. Jesus Christ. I mean, pro gamers and their terrible upgrade placement, man. Here! Always put your upgrades here, guys, so they don't get sniped. Oh, do you see that, guys? Reynor had 1 drone there. He was ready to do a Spore trick. He wanted to dodge the projectile from those Adepts. Very sexy. Builds another Evo in front of his natural as well. Both snipeable positions. Very nice to know. 4th base is there. 1-1 upgrades are finishing. It's not a bad spot for Neeb. He's got a 4th up crazy early. So the fact that there's been no pressure or anything, and of course there couldn't really be because the lair was so late, it looks like it's okay. +1 range and more Roaches on the way. Interesting. Is Reynor going to play Hydras and go to Lurker? He could go straight Infestation Pit and immediately go for Hive here. Reynor starts Roach Speed. And you're not just going to max on Roaches, are you? He's going to just max on Roaches. Oh my god. Oh, Reynor, you savage. 2nd Evo got cancelled as well. He's just going to max. It's just a Roach max. Now, this should never work against Neeb if Neeb knows what's happening and plays defensive. But Neeb doesn't have that much scouting. He's only got 1 sentry for hallucination. And if he pushes forward and just gets surrounded by mass Roach, then he's screwed. If the Stalkers are defending with batteries and microing backwards, using those 1-1 upgrades and all that, that'll be great. But he's going charge, not important right now. He should be on pure Stalker versus this. Roaches, there's going to be too much Roach Ravages, so Zealots won't do anything. He also is trying to get his 2-2 upgrades, but he doesn't quite have enough gas for all of it, guys. He's gone 6 gases. He's poking forward his Neeb. Neeb does not realize, look at that, great Roach run by Reynor's going to wait for Roach speed to kick in, and then he's going to shove into the natural. And then he's going to, at the same time as Neeb recalls and warps in to deal with that, Reynor's going to push forwards on the map. Now, Neeb's doing some pretty good micros so far. He's picking off queens. Roach is very efficient, but he's got to pull back now. Neeb's overstaying his welcome. Does lose a couple... He's got to pull back. Oh, no, Neeb, what's he doing? He should not still be fighting. He's got to let those shields regenerate. Stays way too long there. Now, his Zealots are going to try and defend, but he doesn't have charge just yet. Oh, the Roaches are going to shove through, but there are Stalkers coming in from all sides. Neeb with some very good blink micro. Zealot's got some good surface area to start, but now, look at that. The Ravager morph in the cocoon, in the wall off. The Stalkers are microing very well, though. Reynor going to try and get some damage done. Neeb does defend this Roach run by, but as I said, as he's distracted with that, that's when he shoves on the right side, and Neeb a little bit too slow to get back in position. If that battery goes down, that means no overcharge to help. Not to mention, oh my god, he's losing probes in the main base. Probes are trying to deal with the Roaches. He lost a bunch of probes on the third. Battery overcharge goes down. It gets cast, and it goes down as in gets killed almost immediately. Stalkers eat some corrosive bile. Stalker is the best composition for defending this sort of push, but he's got a lot of Zealots in the mix that are not the best. He's got no batteries. Where are the shield batteries? He didn't have one on the wall either. He's lost 10 workers. Neeb does manage to hold, though. It's not over till it's over, and I told you guys Stalkers are the best for defending in this sort of scenario because they're so flexible with their movement. They can always utilize the positioning. He's going to try and hunt down all of these Ravagers. The corrosive biles are keeping him back a little bit. Neeb, though, I like the way he tries to hunt those units down, and he survives without critical damage happening. I'm very excited for Neeb because this is like really a match where there's still part of me that says, yeah, Neeb's in form, but Reynor should take him to Dicktown. Reynor is going full dark right now. What is Reynor's game plan? If you wrote it down on a piece of paper, like you're just going to shove with Roaches while doing a backstab, and then you're going to go mass tunneling claws, you'd be like, what is this plan? It's some drunk shit that him and Dark, they're the only players who make this stuff work, but it's going to actually potentially be incredible because there's only one observer. And if he can hide Roaches, get them into 2 or 3 of these mineral lines, he could do critical damage very suddenly. But look at that. Oh, those Roaches get caught. Oh, these Zealots, though, on a bit of a derpy derp. And Tunneling Claws is done. Big fight on the right side. Neeb's got to pull those guys out and deal with what's at home. And there we go. Roaches in his base. He's trying to build cannons in his mineral lines right now, realizing, oh, shit, I don't have any detection there. But look at this. Reynor's going to keep fighting him on the fronts because he says you can't stalk a micro at the front while also dealing with the rest. Now, that's a good fight for Neeb, right? Great angle. But at what cost? He's not dealing with the Roaches perfectly because of it. And then he's shoving into a choke point. Get out of there, Neeb. Neeb's trying to shove on top to punish Reynor for doing this. But this is way too inefficient for Neeb. He needs all of his attention on these engagements. These Roaches wriggling around like the cheeky little fudge wits that they are. And the Stalkers on the front are not taking a good enough fight. Are they going to win the fight? Yes, but barely. Meanwhile, the cannon's finally finishing up, but not before 17, 18 probes have gone down. There's still Roaches going runabout inside the main base. Now, it is still just Roaches and Ravagers for Reynor, but Neeb needs to pull back from this. Neeb's on 5 bases against a guy that's just making Roach Ravagers Urgling. There is no follow-up for Reynor, but Neeb wants to keep attacking, and that's playing into Reynor's hand. He's getting way too aggressive and horny, and obviously, let's be real, Reynor's baiting him into those bad decisions by just keeping him microing and busy in 3 or 4 locations at once. Neeb took massive economic damage. He's not reprobing. He's going to try to go all in with 2-2 upgrades versus 2-1. Could it work? Yeah, it could work, but it's a little bit sloppy, and it's just a Stalker Zealot all-in versus Roach Ravager. The one thing Roach Ravager is really good at is defending Protoss all-in attacks. These Stalkers trying to shove forwards. More Roaches on the left. This Zealot run by on the left side, a bit too slow to get forwards. The Stalkers are going to take these Roaches out. Neeb getting some decent fights here. Is it going to be enough, though? Roaches in the back on Burrow. They're just hitting a gateway right now. Zealots come in, start to kill some drones. Can they do enough? So many Stalkers go down, and that's a huge problem. And 2 Stalkers and an Observer will take forever to clean these Roaches up. These Roaches over here finally going to go down, but every time there's just units A-moved in different locations, the Roach suddenly looks like such a cost-efficient unit because it's a meaty fucker. It doesn't need micro the way Blink Stalkers do. Blink Stalkers are all about micro. Reynor says, you know what counters a unit that needs micro? If I make you fight in 5 locations at once, over and over again, guess what? You're human. You're not Alpha Star with 4,000 APM micro. You can't micro in 4 places at once, and I'm going to keep making you take bad trades. Now, Neeb does kill the 5th base of Reynor, and I think that gives him the comfort to reprobe up. So he's going to reprobe. He's got to put guys back on gas, transfer his workers around, maybe take this. Does he have a Templar Archives? He doesn't have a Templar Archives yet. I would definitely like to see a Templar Archives just so we can spend that excess gas. And he's still on Mass Stalker Observer right now versus Mass Roach Ravager. An Infestation Pit finally goes down, as well as +1 Carapace only now starting. We've talked about it a lot. We're going to keep talking about it. Reynor is just trying to kill his opponent. He is not trying to let this game go any longer. It's a very aggressive style. It's a Korean style of ZvP. It's don't let the Protoss player get in their comfort zone. And it's kind of annoying to play against. It's constantly forcing mistakes. It's getting through these points in the game where a conservative macro player says, oh, Protoss should just be able to defend that. And it's always like there's a disconnect between what should happen if a Protoss is always looking at the right place at the right time, and then what a true expert world champion player like Reynor realizes, hey, I'm going to make it so you're not looking at the right place at the right time. I'm not going to defeat myself mentally before the game even starts by saying, oh, you should be able to defend everything. Eating some biles is Neeb, and Reynor, his favorite defensive area, seems to be this choke point. And Neeb kept attacking up there so far. I wouldn't mind Neeb breaking those rocks, because I think more interaction the better. Zealot run by doesn't really find too much, but I do like that he's active with them, and he's now going double Robo Bay. Problem for Neeb, guys. No Templar Archive still, and a Hive and a Lurker Den are on the way. Vipers will destroy the Disruptors by abducting them if he doesn't have feedback. So Neeb here, he's trying to keep his forward aggressive positioning going. He's bringing an Observer. He really needs to get rid of all this creep on the left side of the map. He's still doing very good micro. I mean, Mass Stalker and great upgrades on them are so good versus these roaches. Oh my god, he's eating so many biles though. Oh, Neeb. Oh my god. I mean, he's got the critical mass. Where's the rest of the Roach Ravager? It seems to be up on the right side. I think he was expecting a Zealot run by. So you see, Reynor was kind of keeping his unit split. Looked like he might break through. Infestors are out though. Oh, watch for the Punish Fungal. Watch for the Punish Fungal, guys. Watch for the Punish Fungal. Neeb! Oh, he dodges it. He dodges it. Beautiful dodge by Neeb. He dodges the Fungal mid-air, and he's going to try and bait it again. Oh, that time Blink wasn't on cooldown. Big mistake for him. Loses his Observer. Loses a pack of Stalkers here, but he's got a giant attack on the right side that's going to go in at the same time. Neeb trying to shove forward. He's got Plasma Shields +3 on the way. He's trying to take a 6th base right now. He's being highly aggressive. A bit of a YOLO here from Neeb. Is it going to pay off, or is it going to get him punished? We'll see. He's attacking on the right side. Those Stalkers on the left are going to be all cleaned up. He needs to make that worth it by clearing up this base, or at least some of these drones. Wait, no, he won in the bottom left side. He barely won that fight. But here come the Lurkers, and he has to pull back. The Lurkers. Oh, one Lurker's still in range of him here. He definitely could try to focus them. He gets one of them. Gets 2 Lurkers and disengages. Worth losing a few Stalkers there. Double Disruptor production on the way. Now, this is important because he's keeping Reynor down in the dumps, spending all of his gas on Roach's Ravagers. There's no Viper on the way, and there's already Disruptors coming out. So really nice play there by Neeb. Does eat a bile, but he blinks back, dodges most of it. If he can get rid of all this creep on the left, he can start to surprise Reynor with his movement. And you see how Reynor's getting pinned back in a corner. Neeb fighting back splendidly in this game. I'd love to see Reynor sneak some Roach run-bys by, but he knows there's cannons in each base. There's observers set up everywhere. It's really hard for him now to find those sort of distraction angles, right? Because he's so pinned back. But he's still got a bit of creep on the left. No cannon on this base. Only a cannon on the front side of that. Oh, he's got forward observers as well, doesn't he? That's part of why this is such a problem for Reynor right now. Reynor's going to come down with a Zergling run by and run into a Pack of Zealot Stalker. And here we go. Shoves it on the right. But oh my god, he jumps on the Lurkers and gets fungled. Neeb kills 2 or 3 Lurkers and loses like 12 Stalkers. Zealots on the left side do go down. Some of them pull back. The Zealot Stalker could actually jump on that and take it out. But of course, Neeb doesn't know how many Lurkers he's running into. Reynor going to counterattack right now. Neeb should have attacked there. He actually should have attacked because now... Oh! Big balls land on Reynor's face. Neeb comes out with a surprise teabag. He says, you know what the national sport of America is? It's called Call of Duty. We invented the teabag, mate. Watch your forehead, mate. I'm crouching on you. Right from that high ground, he ambushed that army. I really thought Reynor was just going to get on that base and fudge him up, man. But Neeb pulls out that Call of Duty 14-year-old strategy and just drops the surprise nuts on his forehead. Very nice play. Stalkers on the left side. Lurkers coming over here. Reynor's going to pop that cannon. That's a big problem for Neeb. Neeb's got some balls coming forward, but I think Neeb should give up the base on the left and move to the right. You do not want to chase into Lurkers. Lurkers are a big problem when you're engaging into them. That front Lurker never got dealt with there. And Neeb, he's got to give that base up. He gives it up. And he moves to the right. He's got to shove up. But those 2 Infestors, these heroic Infestors, when your back's up against the wall, the Infestor is one of the best units that you can get value out of. It's out of energy right now, though. Balls are coming forward. And some... Oh, he doesn't quite take out the Lurkers. He damages them, but he doesn't kill them. And that beautiful positioning there by Reynor does defend. Yes, the Lurker goes down, but Reynor's killed a base. Now, I would like to see Neeb retake this base up here. He's coming down with Stalkers and an Observer. Oh! Oh, he says no escape, dickhead. But wait. I don't know if he has enough to actually take it out. He's going to kill the lurkers, but it will cost him a lot of stalkers. Good spready from him. Still one tumor down here. This creep spread on the left side has given Reynor so much vision and ability to keep playing in this game. He's got a 6th base on the top right, whereas Neeb's still on 5 bases. I mean, this is crazy. Neeb's building Immortals right now. He's on 3-2-1 upgrades. We've got Adrenal. +1 melee is finishing now, so it's Adrenal, +1 melee, +2 range, +1 carapace. Both lurker upgrades. These Lings are now not a bad run by force, man. You're going to need to warp in really quick on that base. Some Stalkers and Zealots are moving over there, and their armor upgrades do massively help, remember. These armor upgrades really do help, but Adrenal Gland Zerglings are still an incredibly high damage unit. No battery on this base. But the Zerglings have to pull back. Oh, big balls, but bigger ducks! Yoink, 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 yoink! The Stalkers focused down one of the Vipers, but there was 4 Vipers there. Gets a few of the Disruptors. Very nice play by Reynor. If Neeb could have got that base, that would have been huge, but he's not able to, and this small army making it work for Reynor. Reynor now massing Zerglings. He's going to try and overwhelm. Reynor's like, look, I've got enough Lurkers. If I can defend this base with the Lurkers and then just swarm over the top with like Massling as well. Oh, he's going to set up a flank. Oh, you cheeky little fudger. Oh, Reynor really wants to kill this army. The Abducts come in. He cancels all of the Disruptor shots. Every single one gets caught. The Immortal Zealot tearing up the Lings, but there is just too much Reynor, and Reynor eventually at the end of a crazy back and forth game 4. That really could have gone either way. Reynor ties up the series 2-2 though. What a bloody series. This is so sick. All right. He's fighting back in this series, but my God, does it look stressful. This is Kaisi Gaming's Reynor. Top right of this map, man. The Fungal Lurker combo was actually huge. Building those 2 Infestors. He wasn't going for an Infestor comp, but just those 2 Infestors started catching those Stalkers and really shutting down some of that aggression. I think that was really crucial. Then the Vipers hitting the field. Perfect time for Reynor, worst time for Neeb. We talked about how if there was no feedback in there, it was going to be tough. And he went 4 Vipers as well, which is crazy, right? But I think Reynor is one of those guys, when he's behind in ZvP, he really understands the power of like, hey, if I can surprise you with enough to just grab every single Disruptor, I will dominate this game. So Neeb here on Inside Out, he's going to have to really show us a beautiful, clean game. He's going to go for an early scout to block the expand. So he wants to play safe, doesn't want to go for the skipping the scout opening or anything like that. Reynor takes the front 3rd base, which is not too bad, because if Adepts want to attack here, they pretty much always have to come through the middle. If they go around the right, this rock down here forces them to go down that right side. It's very much of a big detour, and it's incredibly awkward. Now, Neeb's going to try and mess up the micro a little bit on those minerals. Spawning pool does go down, 1 minute 14. Crisp opening for Reynor. I would love to see Neeb actually do the Zealot build again, but even tighter. I do feel like Reynor's still pretty Zergling focused. I guess in that last game, he went straight to Roaches, actually. But that was because he had to, right? Neeb forced him into Roaches because he went for the very quick 3-gate Adept into Glaives, coming in after the first 5 Adepts hit. And that was a big pressure from Neeb. It was a total of 14 Adepts he committed to. Didn't pay off at all in terms of direct damage, but he did get a big economy up behind it and delayed Reynor's tech massively, so it kind of worked out okay. I would argue, though, that Zealot style that he tried on Tropical Sacrifice, but actually get a crisp Zealot attack the same way you would with your Blink Stalkers, and just put the pressure on. Do not let Reynor drone up. And this is a small map, so I'd actually be a little worried about Reynor going Swarm Hosts here if you play a bit too defensive. Now, obviously, Neeb's been super aggressive all series long. I don't know if we have to worry about that, but something I'd be worried about is just like, okay, if Reynor breaks these rocks down and has good creep all the way through to the middle of the map, he can start throwing Locusts from here on this base, can start throwing Locusts on this base, like just an old 3-base saturation, 66 drones, +1 range attack, roach speed, and then you just add Swarm Hosts. So it's just Queens, Roaches, Ravages, and then a big pack of Swarm Hosts comes out. Very tough for a Protoss player to deal with on a small map. We'll see if Reynor resurrects that style. We haven't been seeing it at all recently, but it is a classic. People forget that it's good because we don't see it that much. Protoss pro players, when I ask them, they're like, yeah, it's not good because Blink. They're like, and Zergs as well, they're like, if they go Blink first, it's just shit. And I'm like, I get technically if the Stalkers are like on top of it and never really let the Swarm Host go forward, but like, I feel like if you're a little ahead or they don't see the Swarm Host get forward for their first wave, like I think there's options. I don't think it's as cut and dry and set in stone as pro players will have you think if you listen to the way they talk about it. Now that Stargate's coming up. Do we Chrono and Oracle immediately? Yes, we do. It's been very defensive, by the way. Stalker first into the Adepts. Overlord for Reynor says, I'm just going to spot the gases. That's all I need to see here. And this Adept here comes forward. Just going to check that he's droning. So Neeb's just saying, are you droning? Sees a full base there, almost, and says, okay, cool. That means I'm not getting all in right now. I don't need to worry about a Ling flood or anything like that. That being said, there are 8 Lings going across the map. Going to look to deny this attempt on a third base. But Neeb's not got only 1 gate. For once, he's actually got 3 gate, which is cool. He's going to push that Overlord back. He's like, get out of here, you dickhead. He's moving out with an Adept and a Probe. That Adept could get taken down. Uh-oh, Zergling's coming in, man. 2 Adepts are shading over. Oh, he gets the third started. Okay. Oh, those Adepts right on top of each other. But they are surrounded right now. The Oracle is going to go in on the other side and kill 1, 2, 3 drones. A very good start for the Oracle. And another one on that base as well. The Lings did take out the Adepts, but 5 of them died, which means they shouldn't be able to kill the base. They might be able to cancel the pylon, though. Neeb needs to start another pylon immediately. Oh, he's going to use the Oracle. And if he warps into Adepts, looks like he does keep it alive. Overall, Neeb comes out on top of that trade, guys. Getting the 4 drones makes that perfectly fine for Neeb. He's up at 45 versus 37. Still no Evo chamber started here for Reynor, which feels like Reynor's not going to have a quick melee upgrade. Reynor, if you want to go the plus Zergling style, you need that Evo chamber right now, dude. Oh no, the Adepts come forward. Bit of a mistake for Reynor, for Neeb here. Good catch for Reynor. Reynor getting a little bit of ground back in this game, and that's very important. He's now tied up the work account, so he's recovered from that early damage. He's also going to intercept these Oracles, which delays the future damage, right? If those Oracles find their way in immediately, kill another 3 drones, find their way in, kill another 3 drones, things can get rough. But now that there's a Spore up in each base, Lair is on the way, still no Evo, no Roach Warren. Evo now goes down at 5 minutes. I mean, Reynor has a good economy, but his tech is very bad. His Lair is not quick. It started just before 5 minutes. His Roach Warren goes down now. Feels like he's going to just have to play Mass Roach Ravager again in this game. I think Swarmos is one of the better options when your economy doesn't start too well. So we'll see if he shares my thoughts on that one. Oracle's lasering down the Queen. Ah, that Oracle does get blasted. Okay, Blink is on the way. It's going to be Blink again. My wishes for more charge aggression. Not going to be happening today, guys. 4 gates, third base looking pretty healthy on the workers. That being said, Reynor, dude, he's up on 60 drones. So his economy is feeling great. He especially, where is that 4th base? 5 minutes 45. I told you his economy nowhere near as crisp as some of those previous games. Remember, he had this 4th before 5 minutes in one of those games. Melee does start up. We're just going to see Ravager Bane, potentially. Melee, usually a sign of that. Will he try to squeeze a Spire in or anything like that? The melee tells us it definitely will not be the Swarm Host style I talked about. Dude, 6 minute 4th base. Neeb, keep it in your pants, bro. Seriously. Jesus. American greed right there, man. That Overlord in the back would be a lovely snipe because it is seeing the lack of that gas geyser. But Neeb's forgotten about it. He's going to start poking forward. The creep here is a little bit far forward. He wants to try and deny that one. So Neeb definitely will be doing a revelation about here. Gets rid of these creep tumors. Zergling run by getting ready. There's no shield battery, just 1 Stalker and just a shield battery there. The best thing you can do is surround that shield battery. Let's see if he gets on it. Neeb needs quick responses here to either A-move the probes or warp in. Neeb, okay, A-moves the probe. Battery overcharge goes down as well. And it's so early in the game, I don't mind overcharge getting activated there. Because that's going to be cooled down by the time any real attack comes. Baneliness, melee, roach speed. It's going to be a standard Ravager Bane versus Blink game. Robo, second Forge on the way, telling us Neeb is not just going to try and kill him with +1 Blink Stalkers. Neeb's going to kind of macro on up from here. Oh, not a good Blink for those Stalkers. They could barely see to the edge of the ramp. 4th base is wide open. Oh, that could be a huge snipe. These Stalkers, Neeb's going to try and attack everywhere at once like he loves to. The Oracle's going to kill a lot of these Zerglings. This is a huge commitment for Reynor. Adept goes in on that right side, kills 1 or 2 drones. Those Stalkers there do not really take any losses, but the 4th going down's a bummer. Kills the probe, which means he can't retake it. And that is a lot of Zerglings, but delaying the 4th is pretty huge. Neeb's going to have to send a probe over and immediately rebuild that. The quicker he does that, the better. He's taking gases, he's rebuilding his 4th, and he is going to be having it go for the double upgrades as well. Up to 9 gateways is Neeb, going for the 2-1 upgrades. And after that, I really like Plasma Shields right after +1 armor, I think is the best way to do it. Just because Archons are going to be huge versus Lings and Banes, which is a big part of the Ravager army. Stalkers move right past. Bit of a mistake there for Neeb. And, oh, yeah, those Oracles going to have to turn those lasers on, man. Nice annoying play by Reynor. Every Zergling is being as much of a nuisance as it can. Oh my god, he sneaks by. You're kidding me. Neeb, let those Zerglings slip by. Reynor just says, hey, you're busy macroing right now. I'm going to just see if I find something. Neeb, please A-move. Okay, Neeb does A-move. He doesn't get caught. If he got caught by that, that would have been the most embarrassing way to lose a mineral line. But the Stalkers come forward. He grabs 3 or 4 Queens. Guys, if all those Queens go down, the Oracle production could restart. Oh, good flank Reynor with a big boy flank comes in. He says, yeah, you want to keep attacking me and picking off my queens? Gets 10 Stalker kills in this game. That's very good. That ties up the units lost to be very similar, and the Ling run by is going to keep going. He's not going to let Neeb get up a 5th base. Reynor, he's up on 78 workers. His creep's being pushed back on that left side. He's going to have to keep looking for this flank, though. If he keeps flanking this army, Neeb's got to be careful. If he gets surrounded again, he does have the Oracles there this time, but a massive Baneling morph there. Stalkers coming forward. Oracles are going to stop the chase from coming in. Very good play, but the Oracles use all their energy. This probe, oh, it's not going to see this, guys. This Baneling run by is a massive investment. Reynor is relying on getting something done. Neeb gets a glimpse of it. He needs to react right now. If Neeb, he's warping in, he needs to run his probes. He needs to spread his probes right now. One Stalker warp in, all that's available. His Stalkers are going to press in the front, but that means he's going to lose a whole mineral line right now. Oh my god, the Banelings just going to go absolutely ham. Zealots on the right side, but charge is not quite done. It's still 10 seconds away, just slightly mistimed here for Neeb with this multi-prong. Stalkers on the left side, microing their hearts out, trying to bait out these units. Zealots going in, but the Ling Bane is on top of them. Meanwhile, Banelings are going after that mineral line as well. +2 melee is not done, so they cannot one-shot them. The Zealots will go down over there. Stalkers on the left side are winning this fight, though. Queens and Ravagers off creep, getting picked off. That Queen should go down as well. Biles are going to keep zoning them, though. Reynor so consistent with those Biles to buy time. 11 probes end up going down. At the end of the day, Reynor keeps his 5th alive, gets a bit more creep control, but the Zealots are not done just yet. Neeb's going to keep trying to shove him. Neeb needs to bring every single Stalker to the front. Zealots on the right side. Roaches scramble to defend in the main. Zealots will get a good fight on those first few, but he's being defended on the left is Neeb. He needs to get all these Stalkers back to the front. More Banelings rolling in. Oh my god, Reynor sends him right through the middle of the map. The Oracle emergency cruise. The QRF tries to get on it, but they don't get there in time. Okay, only 2 probes go down. Good response here by Neeb. He's now warping it on the low ground. He's keeping it up. He's got to keep the Stalker pressure on the left side. If he wants to wear Reynor down here, he's got to keep the Stalker pressure up on the left side. The Ravager Bane there, not the most efficient off creep like this, not without any Zerglings to help buffer. Those Stalkers could get some good damage, but the double spore reposition. Oh, the Prism goes down. Now the Zealots are going to start to get some damage in the main, but it's really the push on the left side of the map that matters. The multitasking is out of this world. 500 APM for Reynor, 400 for Neeb. Both of these savages fighting, seeing who can hold up better in this intense micro war. But the Prism has gone down, and now Reynor only needs to focus on this left side. Unless the Zealot run by goes down the right, it looks like Reynor has held on for now. That +2 melee helping out. The Oracle's going to turn their laser beams on. The Stalkers doing a nice retreat here, but bit of a flank from the right side. A few more Stalkers go down without extra Oracle energy. If he had another Oracle or two, he could kill all these Ravagers. I think that was one of the mistakes Neeb made in this game. He was so good at picking off Queens, but he didn't keep building Oracles, whereas I feel like Hero here would have 4 Oracles, just kill every Ravager. He does not have that. Banelings run down that right side at the same time. They get caught by some of the Stalkers. These Stalkers need to pull back and take a better position. We've got Banelings coming in. They're going to get past. They're going to get by the right side. The probes need to get out of there. It's not a wall off. The Banelings find the mineral line. And Neeb pushed back and overrun there. An army breaching him on the natural at the same time and losing that mineral line when he was already down on economy, pressed up against the wall. Just a little bit too much there. The Oracle's out of energy is such a bummer, but that's the thing. If you keep fighting over and over again in these small fights, those Oracles cannot shoot permanently. The Roach Ravager was going to breach the natural as well. And that is just a lovely, delicious 3-2 comeback from down 0-2 for Reynor. Did he shit the bed on map 2 on Data C and give up a massive lead? Yes, he did. But he didn't give up there. He said burrow roaches, crazy Ling run bys, Baneling run bys, multi-prong queens, Ravagers trying to survive and defend. And we showed that in that insane mechanical war, Reynor just barely came out on top. GG, well played, you absolute savage. That was an amazing series.